We have Felicia. We have my source, Cynthia. Good evening. Oh, yeah. Oh, I love that blue. Look at that. Getting ready.
Of course you love the blue.
Yes. I got my little look.
Jessica Burns.
Jessica Burns. Good evening, Jessica and Felicia. Oh, thank you. Good evening. And Nas, thank you. That's my family right there. Nas, I tell you, thank you for joining into the Urban Suite. And if this is your first time, you are now officially an urbanite.
Yes, that's right.
You are entering the Urban Suite with Dr. Lisa Lacan. Let's talk about urban issues plaguing our community. Let's talk about mental health. Let's talk about sex. Hello, my urbanites. Welcome to the Urban Suite with me, Dr. Lisa Lacan. Welcome. Listen, tonight we have, as always, a fascinating show. You know, in my introduction, who's that? Better days ahead. Hello, cousin. Hello. How are you doing? What's up, cuz? Better days ahead. Yes, better days ahead. Oh my gosh. But will there be better days ahead for Fani Willis? We are going to talk about the uphill battle that DA Fani Willis may have. My. Listen, it is not time for anyone to run the victory lap at this moment. I need you all to relax. I need you all not to be overly emotional because I'm going to dig into all of this, something that you don't get from mainstream media. I'm going to present the opinion of Scott McGee or McAfee. I'm sorry, I call him McGee, whatever. Judge Scott McAfee. I'm going to present his opinion, what he decided, and I knew he was going to release it on a Friday because that's what you do in the PR world. You release it on a Friday, and I'm going to tell you why when we come back in the Urban Suite after a word from our sponsor, Blessed Ministries Incorporated, BMI, the premier workforce development agency in the state of New Jersey, and our missing person. So we will be right back. Stay with us. All right, so we are back with our missing person segment. So listen, my urbanites, I need you all to come on in. Come on in. And it's at this point, I definitely want you all to pay attention. I need you to like. I need you to share, especially this information. Now, typically after the show on my Urban Twos for Change channel on YouTube, in the shorts, we cut out this portion of the missing persons. And then what I do is I disseminate just that segment, the missing person, because I need you all definitely to share, share, share. All right. So who do we have tonight? I need my glasses. We have Nasim Scruggs. All right. Listen to this. This breaks my heart. He's been missing since February the 29th, 2024. Now, what is today's date? The 19th of March. He has still not been located. Mr. Nasim Scruggs been missing from February the 29th, 2024 from Charlotte, North Carolina. Listen. You folks from Charlotte, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to look at his picture. Now, on my other platforms, the audio platforms, iHeartRadio, Apple, Amazon, I need you all to pay attention because you can't see what I'm looking at right now because it's just audio. All right. So he's 19 years old, missing from Charlotte, North Carolina. He's a male. His race is Black. His complexion is medium. He is 6'1", that is his height. He is 170 pounds. His hair color is black. His hair length is brown. His hair length, is short, and his eye color is brown. I need you to listen to this. Location last seen. Nasim was last seen leaving his mother's house at 6:04 p.m. on February 29th, 2024. Then I have to say that's such a precise time. 6:04, not 6 o'clock, not 6:15, not 6:30, but 6:04, leaving his mother's house on February the 29th, 2024, and he has not been seen since. And today is March 19th, 2024. And I need you to pay attention to this. Circumstances of his disappearance. Listen to this. According to family, Nasim is experiencing mental health challenges and maybe want to harm himself. If seen, do not approach him. Please contact the police or Black and Missing Foundation Incorporated. So, anyone with information, please contact Charlotte Mecklenburg Police Department, and this is their telephone number, area code 704-336-7800. Again, that is the Charlotte Mecklenburg Police Department, and that telephone number is area code 704-336-7800, or you can get in contact with the Black and Missing Foundation Incorporation, and their telephone number is 877-97-BAMFI, which is 22634. Again, that's BAMFI. Their telephone number is 877-97-BAMFI, which translates into 22634. 3, 4. Listen, let's pray for his safe return home to Mr. Scruggs. All right, so I just want to say something. My Haitian friends, I am praying for you. I know you all have family members in Haiti. You have your grandmothers, aunts, cousins. I mean, I really am praying for you. I pray for peace. I pray for their safety. I know this is a very challenging time. I know this is a very challenging time. My prayers and my thoughts go out to you all. All right, so let's begin what we're here to discuss. So I need you all to come on in. Oh, also, you all will be very proud of me. I'm drinking my water. Kelly Bowman, I'm drinking my water. Kelly, I'm drinking water. So I don't know if you all saw Kelly Bowman, Dr. Sabi's daughter. She was on 2 weeks ago. And I was very transparent about certain issues that I was experiencing high blood pressure, no iron. I didn't like to drink water. What else? I can't remember. But anyway, she said, sis, you got to drink that water. So I'm drinking the water. Now, this water is very interesting. Look at this. So it's filling up with, you see that? Look at that. Isn't that interesting? It's allowing and turning this water to become, I guess, like hydrogen. So what's happening is my cells are being regenerated with this water.
What is that? What is it doing?
It is filling up this capsule with hydrogen. So the water that I'm drinking is loaded with hydrogen.
Oh, you put extra hydrogen in it?
No, you just hit the button.
Oh.
There's a button right here. And then it beeps. I did it before, but I wanted you all to see exactly what I'm drinking. And I have to say, I've been doing this and my blood pressure has been lowered without taking my medication. Oh, I shouldn't say that because I hope my doctor's not looking. Anyway, my blood pressure has decreased as a result of this. My brain fog is not as, see, I'm having brain fog right now. It's not happening as much as it used to, but this water right here, this, I don't know what this apparatus is called. My husband always finds stuff from Astro, that little robot, to this. This is very good.
Does it taste the same?
It tastes better.
Okay.
It tastes better. I can actually feel something, especially when I first drank it. So listen, speaking of Dr. Sabi, so remember I had Kelly on 2 weeks ago. So last week I was wearing a yellow t-shirt. So if you go back to last week's show when I talked about book reviews and stuff like that, I had a yellow t-shirt on. I actually ordered that from Dr. Sabi's site, the daughter's site. And she was so sweet and dear. She gave me a care package of a 10-day toxic as well as bitters. So I'm not taking the 10-day toxic, and I'll tell you why. Because I'm going to a conference this week. I don't know what that 10-day toxic stuff.
Cleanse, you mean a cleanse?
A cleanser, yes, it's a toxic cleanser. I don't want to.
Be going to the bathroom and all.
Right? Yeah, no. I said I was going to take it this week, and then I said absolutely not. Not going to take it this week because I'm going to a conference. It's like a 1, 2, 3 day conference, but you know, no. All right. So are you all in? We're going to get started. I need you to like, I need you to share. So you will find me on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube. Those are the visual podcasts. All right. Those are the visual podcasts, LinkedIn, Facebook, as well as YouTube. Now, did you just hear that beep, beep, beep? That's the water. It's finished doing what
wow. It looks different.
Yes. Yep. And
it's not carbonated though, right? Like it's not
No, it's not carbonated. I actually got this from this other water that has a pH of 8.4, natural spring water from Iceland. Icelandic water. So I put it in this apparatus right here, and so far so good. I love it. I love it. Now my husband has been talking about me drinking water for a very long time, but the beauty is, as they say in Europe, I'm near a toilet, so I'm able to.
What does that mean?
I'm able to drink water and always have to go to the bathroom. Because, like, say for instance, every time I drink, as soon as I get up, it's like, oh, I go to the bathroom. Like, you know.
You said that's what you mentioned during the show.
Yes, that's why I was not fearful of drinking water, but just kind of hesitant.
Right.
All right, so I see you all are coming in. Come on in. And I see my bars like we're having some type of disruption in service. I don't know what that's about. Also, you guys, what we did today, I did a test on YouTube only. I went live on YouTube only. Now, you see me right now live, but I'm going through another platform called StreamYard. And what StreamYard does, it disseminates this video to other platforms like the LinkedIn and the Facebook. But what I tested out earlier today was just live on YouTube. So what I'm going to do this week, I'm going to have a live on YouTube, and I'm going to talk about, guess what I'm going to talk about, Curtis?
Tell me.
I'm going to discuss the current mayor of Newark, New Jersey, Ras Baraka, and his State of the City speech, where he laid out pretty much, he gave a very compelling argument as to why he should be the next governor of a state. I don't think that's ever had a black governor.
No.
New Jersey has never had a black governor. Can you believe that?
And they ain't ready for one right now either. So.
Oh, Curtis.
I'm just saying, New Jersey ain't ready for a black governor. That is not.
You mean that Democrat state, that blue state, is not ready for a black governor?
There's too many what you call them, PWIs?
What?
Party goers.
Too many.
New Jersey is a very diverse state. It's not all city. You know what I'm saying? It's down south. There's the shore. There's whole different communities, farmland and stuff in New Jersey. The state of New Jersey is like different countries. Yes, totally.
It really is. There's a total difference from South Jersey to Central Jersey, Central Jersey to North Jersey, West Jersey. You know, Huntington County is totally different than Cape May.
Cape May, you got like the shore and stuff down. You got Atlantic City area. You got the Pine Barrens and all that down towards Trenton. Then you got like out in the west where it's like Pennsylvania. It's like
that's right. That's Huntington County going out there, Somerset, Huntington, all of that. Like that 80 West.
And then Newark is like the big black city, but that's totally different from the whole rest of the state.
What you call it? The big black brick city.
So, you know, outside of that, it may be Trenton, but you know.
Oh, Camden.
Or Camden,
Yeah, Camden. Union. Oh, Passaic County. You have Patterson. You have a stronghold up there.
But
so it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. So I need to listen to a speech one more time because I listened to it once. And of course, I wasn't able to attend because I'm here in Virginia. But I thought it was a really engaging and compelling argument as to why he should be the next governor. I believe, just like with Fani Wilson or Willis, I say Wilson, Fani Willis, that he is going to have an uphill battle.
Yeah, I don't really know.
So this season, not only is spring coming up, we have election season coming up. So come on in, you guys, come on in. We have election season coming up. And with that, we're going to be bombarded with the commercials and all that stuff. All right. So why are we here tonight in the Urban Suite talking about an update? Several weeks ago, my husband and I were on the show talking about Fani Willis and the whole evidentiary hearing that she had. And basically, it was a result of this. Let me put this up on the screen. It was a result of this. So this is Michael Roman. All right. So Michael Roman is part of the Trump tribe that the DA is trying to prosecute Trump, as well as I think it's all 9 of them all together. So this is basically a result of Mr. Nathan Wade. And this is what I always say. This is a result. All of this whole hearing and every single thing is a result of Nathan Wade. This is the foundation of it. Nathan Wade, at the time prior to all of this happening, only giving his wife, his estranged wife at that time during this stuff, the mother of his 2 children. They have been married for 20 plus years. She never really worked. So she was a stay-at-home mom. She was a housewife. And he was only giving her $1,400 a month. So what did she do? See, divorce is very contentious. Very contentious. See, now, if Nathan Wade would have just given his estranged wife at that time more than $1,400 a month, that's like what, $700 bi-weekly? She's supposed to live and survive off of that. So anyway, I guess she got upset and she filed a motion and everything. So everything was explored and everything came out about a sexual relationship between Nathan Wade and the district attorney, DA Fani Willis. Now, looking at Fonnie Willis's history is so interesting because she's from the DMV area, District, Maryland, and Virginia. So she's from that area. She went to high school, the Catholic high school, Regina High School in Maryland. It has since closed. And then she went to Howard University. Yes, she went to Howard University. And then she went to law school in Atlanta at Emory. So now she is the district attorney Fani Willis. So everything pretty much came out when they were, at the hearing. So fast forward later, we don't have a picture of the judge, Judge Scott McAfee. Let me tell you. So this right here, we can put Fani Willis's picture down. So this right here, let me go to page 1 so you can see the characters involved. All right. So this is the state of Georgia versus the defendants, Donald John Trump, Rudolph William Louis Giuliani. Oh, that was the picture of the judge. That's the judge. Okay, so you can keep that up. That's Judge Scott McAfee, 34 years old. He also is a graduate, I believe, of Emory. So you have a lot of Emory University alum in this whole thing. All right. So you have Mark Randall Meadows. You have Jeffrey Bossert Clark, Robert David Chile, Michael Roman. That's the one that initially brought it up. Put that back. Don't do that. No. Okay. Right there. You have David James Schaefer. You have Harrison William Prescott Floyd and Kathleen Austin Latham. Those are all the defendants. So Georgia versus Trump et al. Now it says et al. It means there are more than 2 names, whatever. So instead of just saying all their names all the time, you say et al. All right. So basically the order of defendants motions to dismiss and disqualify the Fulton County District Attorney. So what the defendants wanted to do, they want to do 2 things. One, they wanted to dismiss the indictment and disqualify the Fulton County District Attorney's office. They wanted to do two things, the defendants. So as I read through this, I'm not going to read everything, of course, because it's 23 pages. I'm going to spare you. I'm just going to get to the meat of it. So people may be asking, well, Dr. Lisa, why is this an uphill battle? I mean, she gets to stay on the case, right? Well, I guess I don't know. I don't know. And I tell you why. So as I read through this, or as I read through this, because I read all 23 pages for you all. Very interesting reading. Judge McAfee, he has a similar disposition as Pontius Pilate. Y'all know who Pontius Pilate is? Pontius Pilate.
I think people know who that is.
Huh?
I think people know who that is.
All right. So it's interesting. Pontius Pilate, basically, when it was time for Jesus to be crucified, he said this. When Pilate saw, I'm quoting. When Pilate saw that he was getting nowhere because the crowd did not want to hear what he was saying, but that instead an uproar was starting, he took water and washed his hands. He washed his hands in front of the crowd. And he said, I am innocent of this man's blood. He said, it is your responsibility, basically not mine. Defendants, you bear the responsibility. I'm going to be hands off. So his whole entire opinion, in my opinion, was so hands off. We're going to dig into what Judge Scott McAfee said. You talking about walking a tightrope? Curtis, this is man, I've never seen more of a tightrope walker than the decision and the opinion of this judge. It was fascinating, and I have to say, very strategic in what he says. So basically, remember two things. They wanted to dismiss the indictment and disqualify Fulton County District Attorney's office. They wanted to get rid of all of them. Then I thought that was pretty far reaching. I thought that was a far stretch, but you know what? The one thing that all of these folks have, the defendants together, they have money. They have resources, right? So if you have the resources to do this, why not? All right. So was there actual conflict of interest? Well, according to the judge, not really. Yes and no. No, I'm telling you, this is what he says, the whole thing. But I'm going to read something to you. Let's go to page 9, because this is really good. All right. So it reads, without sufficient evidence that the district attorney acquired a personal stake in the prosecution or that her financial arrangements, talking about DA Willis, had any impact on the case, the defendant's claims of an actual conflict must be denied, right? So it was denied, must be denied. This finding, listen to this. This finding is by no means an indication that the court condones this tremendous lapse in judgment, meaning that DA Fani Willis, poor judgment in the whole thing, poor judgment, or the unprofessional manner of the district attorney's testimony during the evidentiary hearing. Rather, it is the undersigned's opinion, his opinion, the judge's opinion, that Georgia law, I need you to listen to this. This is why I'm getting into why it's an uphill battle for her. Georgia law does not permit the finding of an actual conflict for simply making bad choices, even repeatedly. Here we go. And it is the trial court's duty to confine itself to the relevant issues and applicable law properly brought before it. So basically, the judge is saying that the defense did not provide enough evidence, did not provide enough proof, did not provide enough receipts to dismiss and to disqualify. Listen to this. Here it goes. Other forms or sources of authority, such as the General Assembly, that's number 1, the Georgia State Ethics Commission, that's number 2, the State Bar of Georgia, that's number 3, the Fulton County Board of Commissioners, that's number 4, or the voters of Fulton County may offer feedback on any unanswered questions that linger. All right, keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. And then he goes on to write, the appearance of impropriety. Finding insufficient evidence, listen to this, of an actual conflict of interest does not end the inquiry. What did I just say? Finding insufficient evidence of an actual conflict of interest does not end the inquiry. Our appellate courts have endorsed the application of a quote, end quote, appearance of impropriety standard to state prosecutors, even without any explicit finding of an actual conflict, and he cites Battle v. State. So, did you hear what I just read? So I'm going to break that down to you in a nutshell. He says to the defendants, first of all, this comes out on a Friday. He says to the defendants, I may find it one way, but you have options. And your options, you can take it in another direction for these sources of authority. Number 1, and the judge lays it out in the order, I believe, of importance in a sense. Number 1, you have the General Assembly. You can take this to the General Assembly, this matter, based on my opinion. What does that mean? The General Assembly those are the legislators. The legislators include members of Senate and House of Representatives. And in Georgia, there are 236 members. You can take it there. Another option is you can take it to the Georgia State Ethics Commission. You can take it there. Another one is the State Bar of Georgia. The State Bar of Georgia, you can take it there. That state bar will differentiate between a lawyer versus an attorney. An attorney is someone who graduated from law school, has their JD, took the bar, sat for the bar, passed the bar, and now they can stand and go to trial in a courtroom. Whereas, say for instance, someone just graduated from law school, has a JD, and they're saying, you know what, I don't want to take the bar. So they are lawyers. All right. So if you have an issue with DA Fani Willis, you can stand on this opinion and take it to the General Assembly. You can take it to the Georgia State Ethics Commission. You can take it to the State Bar of Georgia. I'm not finished. You can take it to Fulton County Board of Commissioners, or you can take it to the voters of Fulton County. And then he says also you can appeal this decision. So guess what the defendants did over the weekend? They were scrambling and they did all this other stuff. And guess what they did? They are appealing, an emergency appeal. So listen, this is according to the USA Today. This is in Washington. Lawyers for Donald Trump and 8 co-defendants, those are the names that I read at the very beginning, filed an emergency appeal Monday, yesterday of a Georgia judge's decision following Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis to stay on the sweeping election fraud case against the former president. They contend the ruling doesn't go far enough by just forcing out Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade. And guess what? This is what the judge, he said, you can take it, go to the Court of Appeals, go to the appeals court. You can do that. Those are the sources of authority. Now, it's interesting that prior to that happening, this ruling of the judge, where is it? Hold on for a second. There was the Fulton County Board of, let me see, where is it? Board of Ethics. They didn't want to touch it. They said, nope. The Fulton County Board of Ethics on March the 7th, they said, nope. So there were two people that wanted to bring this to the Fulton County Board of Ethics. And they actually said, as of March the 7th, that this was not in our wheelhouse. This is out of our jurisdiction. We don't want to touch it, and we can't touch it. And as a result of that, you see that Judge McAfee did not include the sources of authority in his ruling. Very interesting. So, paint this picture. Somebody's going to complain. Somebody may take it to the General Assembly. They may go down the whole kit and caboodle. Why? Because delay. So, all right. Let me see. Put my picture down. And what was one of the sources of authority? Something's getting ready to happen in the state of Georgia. Something's getting ready to happen in the state of Georgia in about a month and a half. The voters of Fulton County. I need you all to realize that being a DA is a political position. You are elected by the people. Elected by the people. So, May 21st is the primary. And then so far, there are two people slated to run against DA Willis. Well, it's sort of two. I'll explain in a little bit. So who's the first person who's going to throw in her hat? Oh, look at Courtney Kramer. Courtney A. Kramer. She is a Georgia lawyer who on Instagram identifies herself as a MAGA attorney. She is running as a Republican in the race. All right now. And then the next one, these are the two challengers so far. Christian Wise Smith. He's a Democrat who served as Atlantic City solicitor and as a Fulton County prosecutor. Also filed paperwork Friday morning. He filed Friday morning. He was probably standing in line at the office when the announcement came out, when the judge released his opinion. All right, at the Georgia State Capitol to qualify as a candidate for Willis's job. The party primaries are scheduled for May 21st. I'm going to cover it. We're going to cover it here in the Urban Suite before the general election on November 5th. In a statement provided first to CBS News, Wise Smith indicated he hadn't quite decided about challenging Willis, although filing to qualify as a candidate is a prerequisite. Now, how many of you all think he's going to actually challenge DA Willis? I don't think he's going to challenge her. I think I just don't see it. I don't see it at all. I don't see it at all. I don't think he's going to challenge her. So she submitted her paperwork. So she is, up for re-election. So it's interesting about Fulton County, because Fulton County, the composition, we really think about, Atlanta and whatever, but there are other cities in Fulton County. Fulton County kind of reminds me of Essex County in a sense. So you have Newark, which is kind of like not in terms of finances and wealth and whatever, just talking about racial demographics. And then you have the little suburbs. And then you have, the Short Hills and the Milburn, which have very few Black residents in those areas of the county. So the demographics of Fulton County is really kind of neck and neck when it comes to the Black population as well as the white population. So it really depends. Now, who is Courtney Kramer? Let's put her picture up. Because I think she's the one that's really going to stay and stick in the race. And I say this based on this. She's an associate attorney at the Katz Legal Group. Courtney's clients, listen to this, include high-ranking elected officials, candidates for public office, and a 501c4 and C3 nonprofit organizations. Courtney worked in the office of White House counsel under President Trump in 2018 and then clerked for the American Center for Law and Justice, where she worked to protect First Amendment rights and constitutional freedoms. Why is that important? I think Courtney is building up her chest of resources, financial resources. She has an uphill battle. I don't think she's going to win. I think Fani Willis will remain DA, but you never, ever know. You never know.
Let me add one thing. And this might also be the reason why that opinion came out on a Friday, because who else is up for election in November?
Well, of course, we have the what do you mean, the presidential?
No.
Oh,
I'm talking about in Georgia.
Oh, who else?
Scott McAfee, the judge.
Oh, yeah. So that's why
he's up for election.
So that's why he was treading very lightly. And that's why he said hands off, because he understands the demographics. That's why he could not give a decisive opinion about anything. And one thing he said, oh my gosh, I'm like, oh my goodness. He calls it legally improper, what they did, legally improper, legally insufficient. And then he goes on to say, maybe so, but maybe not. Like his whole opinion was on a tightrope. Like he was just saying, I'm not going to be responsible for this. Defendants, it's your job, and I'm going to feed you the crumbs of what to do to make it happen. You can go to the sources of authority, because I'm telling you, this is what you need to do, but I'm hands off. You can go to the sources of authority. I'm hands off because I want to remain in this position. And I don't want to seem as if I am going against the tide. So because of that, I'm feeding you crumbs and telling you what to do. I'm telling you, you can appeal it. And I'm telling you, not you can appeal it, but you should appeal it. This is what the message is. The message is also those options. You know what? Take it to the General Assembly. You can do so. By all means, go ahead. This is what he's telling them. He's basically feeding them and instructing them, not instructing them in a way like, A, B, C, D, but he's basically instructing them in a sense, telling them what you need to do, because I want to wash my hands of this because it's political all around. It's political. I need to wash my hands of this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to maintain a strategic balancing act. I'm not going to let my yes be yes. I'm not going to let my no be no. I'm going to say, maybe so, but maybe not. Like, that was the whole thing. It was like he vacillated throughout this entire opinion was filled with so many vacillations. It is just incredible. I've never read anything sort of like this before. Like, I'm like, man, I'm like, what? I mean, let me see if I can find one then.
But but it's because he's up for re-election. But real quick, just move to the right. To your right a little bit. Yes, that's killing me.
All right. Wonderful. All right. Let's see. So, and then this is the final ruling. This sums up everything what he said. So this ruling gives the defendants ammunition. He says this: after consideration of the record established on these motions, the court finds the allegations and evidence legally insufficient to support a finding of an actual conflict of interest. And then guess what the next word is? However, here we go again. However, the appearance of impropriety remains and must be handled as previously outlined before the prosecution can proceed. The defendant's motions are therefore, listen to this, granted in part and denied in part. I mean, so now the defendants have ammunition based on this. So ordered this 15th day of March 2024. Yeah. So that's why it may be an uphill battle. So let me ask you something. If you were the president of the United States, and let me find that thing. If you were the president of the United States and someone wanted to take you down and you had the financial resources to do what you can, what would you do? Would you be passive or aggressive in your fight? So based on this judge's opinion, listen to this. Oh my gosh, here's another one. This is on page 19. The same cannot so easily be said of the district attorney's prepared speech delivered, because this is the church. Now, the judge is saying that it was a prepared speech when she spoke in front of the church before the congregation of a local Atlanta church on January 14th, 2024. In these public and televised comments, the district attorney complained that a Fulton County commissioner, quote, end quote, and so many others, end quote, questioned her decision to hire Wade. When referring to her detractors throughout the speech, she frequently utilized the plural they. The state argues the speech was not aimed at any of the defendants in this case. The judge says, maybe so, but maybe not. I'm like, oh my gosh. Then he says, therein lies the danger of public comment by a prosecuting attorney. Listen to this. By including a reference to, quote, so many others, end quote, on the heels of defendant Roman's motion, which instigated the entire controversy. See, I told you that instigated the entire controversy. The district attorney left that question open for the public to consider. The court finds, after considering the statement as a whole, under all the circumstances surrounding its issuance, that the district attorney's speech did include defendant Roman and his counsel within its ambit, whether intentional or not. And then he later goes on to say, Although the court didn't find anything during this hearing, he says, but it was still legally improper. Providing this type of public comment creates dangerous waters for the district attorney to wade further into. Now, why he used that word, wade? To wade further into. The time may well have arrived. Listen to this. He still didn't make a clear decision. The time may well. So when you say may, what does that mean? It's a possibility. It's not the time is now. The time was now. You're not saying anything concrete. You're not being very definitive. The time may well have arrived for an order preventing the state from mentioning the case in any public forum to prevent prejudicial pre-trial. Let's see, pre-trial, what is it, page 20? Publicity. But that is not the motion presently before the court. So now he's saying somebody can do a gag order. So now defendants, maybe now you can say, a gag order needs to be had so that she won't be able to make any more comments about this trial in public. Now, the interesting thing that DA Willis did, very, I would say, wise. She didn't mention Mr. Roman's name because they listened to it. But again, the judge didn't say, he was hands off and said, basically, whoever takes this up again, or maybe me, you can do a gag order, So, yeah.
But it seems a little interesting that, all of these tactics are going to be needed for the defense because they must be guilty. Because if you weren't guilty, why don't you just go to trial and prove you're innocent? Why are you delaying it?
Well, that's what people with money, listen, you have to understand, wealthy people, that's all they do. They delay. That's all they do is delay. Wealthy people don't like spending their time in court. So what do? They have all these delay tactics. That's what they do. That is the game book that wealthy people subscribe to. They will keep you in court forever because they have the financial resources to do so.
Yeah, and
the financial resources that they have, it's nothing for them. They will keep people in court for 5-6 years if they could.
Yeah, and specifically, Donald Trump has a history of doing that with his contractors that he had working for him in Atlantic City. That's what he would do to them.
Right. That's what, as a wealthy person,
wouldn't pay him, and then then when they took him to court, he would just keep them in court for years until they couldn't really afford to stay in court.
That is correct.
But it's not that he didn't, he wasn't guilty of whatever they were accusing him of. That was just his tactic.
Is correct. That's the tactic that wealthy people do. That is their tactic. So the judge is basically saying, this is your pathway. I'm letting you know what you can do, wink, wink, what you should do, wink, wink. But I'm washing my hands. So when it comes time to vote, no one can say, oh, you threw DA Willis under the bus. Or they can't say, you didn't do anything at all. Like he's playing both sides. So again, that's why I said it's an uphill battle. Do not run a victory lap as of yet. You would be foolish too. And I tell you, my urbanites, you cannot just go on the surface, the face surface of what mainstream media says, what the drive-by media says. They're not going to give it to you like I'm giving it to you right now. I know you all don't want to read 23 pages. I enjoy reading, so I would do it for you because I need to be educated. I need to be well informed. So when people ask, well, what is the uphill battle? Nope. He laid out what the uphill battle is the General Assembly. That's a major option. The Georgia State Ethics Commission, the State Bar of Georgia, Fulton County Board of Commissioners, and the voters. So you have your choice. You have these options. I'm laying all your legal options out. Now, defendants, have at it. You all can scramble. You all can meet. You all can convene. But what is your strategy? Because I gave it to you. And I even gave you the appeal. Like, you can even appeal it. And this is what the judge said. You can appeal it. Go ahead and appeal it. And what did they do on the Monday following the Friday's decision? They filed for an emergency appeal. So the judge is like, I laid out everything. But then I didn't lay out everything. Like, he's like, oh my gosh, like, do you, like, I just wonder, when people vacillate, they don't let their yes be yes or their no be no. They're like, maybe, but maybe not. Like, do I look nice? Maybe, but maybe not. Like, so this is what I was talking about, Curtis, that we cannot run the victory lap because that's what the wealthy do. That's what the wealthy do. The wealthy will keep you in court as long as possible to deflate whatever. So as the election gets nearer and closer and closer, just think, this started back in January, December, January, February, March. We're almost 3 months behind this whole trial thing, meaning that 3 months, in a sense, has lapsed so far.
But you also got to remember, though, before we even got to this point, she got 3 or 4 guilty pleas already.
That is
Sidney, Powell, and a couple other ones in this same case.
Right.
So some of his top people already pled guilty to it.
Right. And they probably are like, darn it, I wish I would have waited. Look, like, darn it, I wish.
Because then they're not on trial no more. And they're not on trial. They don't have any jail time. So
right.
They're already kind of out of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, they don't have to play these delay tactics and stuff. They're already out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's what they're doing. They are utilizing the law to the fullest extent, because at the time that Sidney Powell and all of them, none of this came out. None of this came out about commingling. None of this came out about, the ethical behavior or unethical behavior. None of this came out. So just like what the judge said, based on her poor judgment, all of this is happening. Based on her poor judgment, because the truth of the matter is, I really believe none of this would have happened if D.A. Willis would have approached the judge in his chamber and let the judge know that she was in a sexual relationship with prosecutor Nathan Wade. And then it would have been up to the judge to make a decision to say, either you stop the relationship or recuse him right now and choose someone else or whatever. But because she did not do that, it was her responsibility to actually go before the judge in his chamber and let the judge know, listen, I am in a sexual relationship with someone that I appointed, someone that is working on my team. What should I do? She did not do that because those two wanted to keep the relationship private. That's what Mr. Wade said. He wanted to keep the relationship private. He said it wasn't a secret, but it was private. And because she was not professional, and this is what I'm saying, I need you all to take away your emotions right now. Take away your emotions. She was not professional to inform the judge in his chamber privately about this matter, privately. And because she did not do this, and this is what the judge is saying, all of this is happening now. All of it is happening now, because at the end of the day, the General Assembly, Georgia State Ethics Commission, State Bar of Georgia, Fulton County Board of Commissioners, or the voters, and the appeal. And I want to read something about the appeal. Let's see, where is it? This is very interesting too. Listen to this. I'm going to read this again. Our appellate courts have endorsed the application of an appearance of impropriety standard to state prosecutors. Listen to this, even without any explicit finding of an actual conflict. And he cites Battle v. State. That's the appellate court. So just because he found that it wasn't there, of course he's going to find it's not there. You can take it and appeal this. And based on he's citing Battle v. State, start with Battle v. State. Again, I'm feeding you the crumbs. Because you did a poor job. Listen, this is no lie. I spoke to my son during this hearing, and I thought the defendants, the attorneys, did an awful job. I'm like, what in the world? Like, it just, they, to me, it was not, they did not provide any type of evidence or proof whatsoever to disqualify, and to basically dismiss the indictment and disqualify. They didn't do anything. They didn't present it. The judge is like helping them along the way. So this is what you need to do. This is what you need to look at. You need to look at Battle v. State. So let's take a break, because when we come back, the governor of Georgia just signed a bill into law regarding DAs, and now there's an uproar. So when we come back, we're going to dissect that as well. So remember, we cannot be overly emotional. We cannot be overly, irrational. We have to be logical in our thinking. We can't be overly emotional. You have to look at the data. You have to look at the facts. It is what it is. They are in this predicament because DA Willis, initially, she should have presented her relationship in private to the judge in chambers. And based on the advisement of the judge, it would stand. It is what it is. So we'll be right back. Who is that lady? That's Lady Justice. Ooh, look at Lady Justice. Now, who's that lady? Oh, Lord. Look at that. She looks very clownish. I'm sorry. I don't, but I'm sorry. How much money did they lose that they may have to recoup? Oh my gosh. What do I envision? What do I envision? What do I envision? Oh my gosh. I envision, listen, my urbanites, I need you to like, I need you to share, and I need you to subscribe. Urban Tunes for Change is on iHeartRadio now and Spotify. Yes! Yay! Thank you all so very much for tuning in. Thank you all for wanting to learn more about what's happening in the urban community.
Plaguing our community with Dr. Lisa Lacan.
All right, so we are back in the Urban Suite. Welcome. I'm Dr. Lisa Lacan, and we are giving I'm providing an update on the Fani Willis situation, and it is an uphill battle. I'm laying the evidence out. Now, I'm laying it out because the defendants, they have options. I talked about the sources of authority as well as the Court of Appeals. They already did that. They already appealed that. So the other option is the General Assembly, taking this in front of the legislators, taking this in front of the Georgia State Commission, the State Bar exam. The State Bar, Governor State Bar. That's where you take your exam and you become an attorney, and then the voting. So the primary is May 21st. And on May 21st, Tuesday, Lord willing, we're going to give you play-by-play. We're going to show what's happening with the primaries. And then the general election, the runoff, is November the 5th. So Georgia House GOP advances prosecutor oversight bill as Dems complain of political score settling. See, all of this is so political. And it's just like, oh my gosh, so political. It's so divisive. People actually hate people that they've never met. People actually have they don't even have logical debates anymore. People actually become angry, and this impacts your mental health without having a logical discussion. You cannot have a logical discussion with people these days when it comes to politics. And my thing is, never, ever commit to one party or the other. Never commit to one party or the other, because what happens is you end up being, as Kathy Hughes used to say, SOS, stuck on stupid, because you don't do your research. You take every policy, everything that they tell you, whether it's Republican, whether it's Democrat, and you believe it. And you become a lazy voter. You become you're not informed. You're ill-equipped. Ultimately being stuck on stupid. SOS. Don't be stuck on stupid. It's time to do your research. It's time to dig in. Don't believe everything that you see or hear in the media. The media will have you believe that D.A. Willis is flying high on cloud 9 right now. No, she's not. No, she is not. Again, she will probably remain in her seat as the district attorney for Fulton County. But trust me, they want her out. They want her out. So this is not a walk in the park. Don't take a victory lap, because this is a major uphill battle. I bet you never heard of all of this before I'm presenting to you what I'm presenting to you now. You probably have never heard this. You just heard, oh yeah, the judge said either you go or Wade goes. That was all you heard. That was all you believed. I said, nope. Let me read the entire thing. So I'm presenting it to you. So my urbanites, you can be well informed. You can be very knowledgeable and not emotional. And I told you, emotional people react and not respond. And once you are a person who reacts, you have lost the war. You have lost the battle. You cannot be one that just, oh my God, and no. Look into it. Dig. So prior to this segment right here, you saw a sneak peek that was done, I believe, 2 years ago. I'm going to ask you all something. I need my readers. Do you all remember, and I'm going to tie this in, do you all remember Ahmaud Arbery? Who remembers Ahmaud Arbery? All right. Who remembers this woman right here? Not her at the stage. Not this. Hold on for a second. Actually, no, I'm going to play this. Who remembers this?
Years to the date, Ahmaud Arbery was killed in the Satilla Shores neighborhood in Brunswick. His murder garnered national, international attention.
All right, Brunswick. What state? Brunswick, Georgia. All right, we're still in the state of Georgia. All right, let's go.
Arbery's killers were sentenced to life in prison back in 2022, but the case against former Brunswick District Attorney Jackie Johnson has stalled.
All right, so remember, Ahmaud Arbery was run down by the 3 white men in the pickup truck, and they killed him. Remember that? That happened in Georgia. And what did the DA of, I forgot the county of Georgia, what happened to her? Listen to where I'm going with this. This happened in 2020, 4 years ago. 4 years ago. He was 25 years old.
Johnson is accused of using her office, her authority, to protect the McMichaels. As Tristan Hardy reports, Johnson's day in court could take several more years.
That's right, Keith. So former Brunswick District Attorney Jackie Johnson was charged with obstruction and violating her oath of office, and she since pleaded not guilty. The Office of the Attorney General say they never stopped fighting for Ahmaud Arbery and his family.
Ahmaud Arbery's killers are in prison, but when we last talked to Marcus Arbery Sr., Ahmaud's father, he said the fight for justice
We ain't forgot about Jackie Johnson.
isn't over.
Jackie Johnson is the DA, a DA in Georgia. Okay, stay with me. Stay with me.
Her day coming up in court.
The day's waiting.
Her day is coming up in court. The DA is coming up in court. Listen to this.
Now turned into years. So far, Johnson waived arraignment in 2022. She was indicted for obstruction and violating her oath of office. Johnson recused herself involving the murder of Arbery. She's pleaded not guilty, while the Office of the Attorney General say they're fully prepared to present their case. A new hearing date hasn't been scheduled yet.
It's not the normal case, so take away the normality.
Daryl Cohen is a defense attorney in Georgia. He says prosecuting a prosecutor is unprecedented. So a trial of Johnson, he says, will take longer than expected.
So the fact that it's taking a long time is troubling because the public wants to see something happen, but it's not necessarily a bad thing to make sure that all of the proper steps and procedures are taken.
The Attorney General's office said court proceedings take varying periods of time depending on a host of factors, including the caseload of the courts, judges, and lawyers.
Again, no new hearing dates have been scheduled yet, and legal experts say it could take years before we see a trial date. It's possible Johnson could face a jury. I'm Tristan Hardy, First Coast News, on your side.
All right, so bear with me. Georgia House GOP advances prosecutor oversight bill as Dems complain of political score settling. All right, so the Governor Kemp, signed this bill into law on Wednesday, March 13th, 2 days before Judge McAfee's opinion was released. All right, so a new disciplinary board could soon begin investigating complaints against the state's district attorneys and solicitors general, that's what Wade was, under legislation passed by the Georgia General Assembly. Listen, those are the legislators, and this is what the judge said, that you can go in front of the General Assembly. The House passed Senate bill, the House passed, and then this was a while ago. This was March 5th. So 6 days later, after the House passed Senate Bill 332, it landed on the governor's desk and he signed it. All right, sending legislation to the governor's desk that would allow the Professional Attorneys Qualifications Commission to begin reviewing complaints of misconduct filed against district attorneys and solicitors general throughout the state. It's a law now. but this had been in the works prior to this whole Fani Willis. Republicans rejected claims from Democrats that the Oversight Commission would be weaponized to unfairly target district attorneys in a partisan manner during an hour-long of debate on that Tuesday, which was last Tuesday. Near the top of the list of suspicious is that Fulton County DA Fani Willis will be targeted for prosecuting former President Donald Trump and his GOP allies in the 2020 election interference case. Now, we don't know. Maybe so. Maybe not. I don't know. Okay, so it goes on to say, because remember the Democrats are saying, why is this coming out right now? Representative, I'm going to mess up his last name. He has a very interesting last name. Representative Chuck Estrachan of Dacula, Republican, said Tuesday he was shocked that Democrats are trying to obscure what ultimately led to the prosecutor oversight bill coming before the legislators. Estrachan said that the outraged, and this is from the Government and Politics. This is Government Politics. This is a nonpartisan source. Estrachan said that the outrage caused in 2020 with the release of cell phone video showing the shooting death of the 25-year-old Ahmaud Arbery led to legislators passing a historic hate crimes law and repealing the citizens arrest law that prosecutors initially used to justify killing Arbery. That is true. He later said lawmakers passed a historic hate crime law and repealed the citizens arrest law used initially by prosecutors to justify the 2020 killing of Ahmaud Arbery after the 25-year-old Black man was chased down a suburban Brunswick, that's in Georgia, street by 3 white men. It was also recommended at that time by prominent, listen to this, it was also recommended at that time by a prominent civil rights organization that Georgia lawmakers pass a prosecutor's oversight measure. That was way before the Fani Willis, way before this hearing, way before. Former House Democratic Whip William Body, I had a teacher in second grade named Ms. Body, filed prosecutors' oversight legislation in 2021. But it was never heard by a House committee. It was never heard by a House committee. The House committee maybe they were Republican. I'm saying this is why it's so divisive. I don't know if the House committee in 2021, what it was composed of. I am assuming it was Republican, but I don't know. According to Estrachan, Body's bill did not include the oversight of solicitors general, which was addressed in the latest version. Oh, so what they added was not only prosecutors, but the solicitors general. So it is sort of like, I guess, an addendum to the previous one where they added the solicitors general. And then he says, it shocks me that there has been such a distortion of this issue by Democrats that have obscured the truth here, which is that this was a bipartisan legislative agenda to ensure that all Georgians felt that they could rely on the justice system. So we have prosecutor and solicitor general oversight now in the state of Georgia. Back in 2021, pretty much everyone was on board for this to become a law. Fast forward now, we have a problem. Why do we have a problem? Why? Don't you want all Georgians to live in peace and harmony? You did back in 2021. What's the difference now by adding the solicitors general? Well, I mean, see, you know, politics, like I said, sometimes it makes us stuck on stupid. It makes us stuck on stupid. What is the big deal? So now you go sit in front of your TV and you listen to the talking heads that say, oh, this bill is, you know, whatever, and this law is whatever. It was already in the works. It was pretty much already established. They just included the solicitors general part in it. That's why it was so speedy and so fast. So now is the problem. Now is the issue because it's affecting one of yours. Now we have a problem with this law. And we want to debate for hours why you can't add this little bit of issue because your Democrat person, it may affect them. Listen, as much as I enjoy politics, I enjoy just sitting back. I enjoy just, you know, it's very interesting because I need you to remember all of these people are politicians. I hope you all don't think only Republicans are good. I hope you all don't think only Democrats are good. I hope you all will understand that it's important to do your research. And don't just listen to Fox News, CNN, MSNBC. You got to do your own digging sometimes. And I know it takes, you know, but sometimes with your cell phone, everything, you can Google, you know, say whatever it is in the Google that you're looking for, and it will just pop right on up. It doesn't take long. But we want to be fed the information. We want to be fed the information. I hope you all didn't forget about Ahmaud Arbery, that happened in Georgia, and the district attorney's office was covering it up, and she was exposed. And that's why they came out with that law. That was 3 years ago. And now they just added the solicitors general. But guess what? She's still at home. She hasn't gone to trial or anything. So we'll see. This is going to be very interesting with the DAs. Now, this is, I got to read something else to you. Oh my gosh, this is funny. I was like, what in the world are the DAs doing, the district attorneys? Because I'm like, they just seem like they having too much fun. Where is it? Oh, let's see. I had to laugh at this. Wait a minute. That they were having, okay, listen to this. Once this bill passes, talking about the bill that just became law, this commission will be able to begin the real work that is bringing accountability to those rogue prosecuting attorneys who abuse their office, who sexually harass their employees, and do not show up for work. I'm like, what? They don't show up for work. Now, does he mean physically they don't show up for work or mentally? I mean, either way is awful as a DA. This commission will give you the confidence that each criminal case will be reviewed on its own merits rather than dismissed by a written memo that informs the public of specific laws that will not be enforced in areas of the state. Supporters of the Oversight Commission say the process allows residents, listen to this, residents to lodge complaints that trigger investigations into allegations of prosecutorial misconduct and provides victims with the ability to challenge plea deals they deem to be lenient, deemed to be too lenient. What's that say? Yep. So that's how politicians, they say what will pull the heartstrings and the emotions of the people either one way or the other. It's a mindset. It's a manipulation of the mind. Manipulation of the mind without doing your due diligence. So this law, in a sense, the body of it and the breadth of it did not just start based on Willis. Now, I have to say, some will say the Republicans probably took advantage of this, what they saw coming. And if you are on the opposing team, you wouldn't take advantage of it? Are you just going to sit back and twiddle your thumbs and allow this is how you see them, your enemies win? All right, so that's that. So I knew somebody had to go. So you all are correct in stating what the judge said. Basically, DA Willis, you go, you and your entire team, or Nathan Wade go. Those are your options. He didn't say you and, he said or. You or. There is an option. That's what he did throughout this whole thing. So as a result of that, and I knew he had to go. I knew Nathan Wade had to go. As a result of that, here is his resignation letter. Dear District Attorney Willis, the furtherance of the rule of law and democracy is and has always been the North Star of our combined efforts in the prosecution of those who are alleged to have attempted to overthrow the results of Georgia's 2020 presidential election. Our team is dedicated to ensuring that a Fulton County jury in a Fulton County courtroom renders a true and just verdict in this case. As directed by the order of the judge, the order today in state of Georgia versus Donald John Trump et al., I hereby offer my resignation effective immediately as special prosecutor for the Fulton County District Attorney's Office. Although the court found that, quote, the defendants failed to meet their burden of proving that the district attorney acquired an actual conflict of interest, end quote, I'm offering my resignation in the interest of democracy, in dedication to the American public, and to move this case forward as quickly as possible. I am proud of the work our team has accomplished in investigating, indicting, and litigating this case, seeking justice for the people of Georgia and the United States, and being part of the effort to ensure that the rule of law and democracy are preserved has been the honor of a lifetime. I am sure that the case and the team will be in good hands moving forward, and justice will be served. You, the team on this case, and the entire office have my prayers for your safety and your success in the pursuit of justice. Respectfully, Nathan J. Wade, Esquire, criminal defense and personal law attorney, blah, 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 blah. All right, so that's his letter. And then DA Fani Willis, she responds. Let's see. I received your resignation letter dated March 15, 2024, and I accepted effectively immediately. I compliment you for the professionalism and dignity you have shown over the last 865 days. She's very specific with that, and that's intentional. As you have endured threats against you and your family, as well as unjustified attacks in the media and in court on your reputation as a lawyer. My goodness, Fonnie, just relax, Fonnie. I get it. I get it. I will always remember and will remind everyone that you were brave enough to step forward and take on the investigation and prosecution of the allegations that the defendants in this case engaged in a conspiracy to overthrow Georgia's 2020 presidential election. Others who were considered were understandably concerned for the safety of themselves and their families that would arise from their acceptance of your role. You, the one who had the courage to accept the role, even though you did not seek it. You are an outstanding advocate I want to make a joke, but I'm going to be serious. In the 865 days you served on this case, you completed a thorough investigation. I bet you did. A thorough investigation that required the use of a special purpose grand jury to compel the testimony of witnesses inside and outside of Georgia, including litigating in 8 states, the District of Columbia, and the United States Supreme Court to obtain critical testimony. You led a team that secured a true bill of indictment against 19 individuals who are accused of violating Georgia law to undermine the 2020 election for the former president of the United States. You have successfully litigated in the United States District Court and the United States Court of Appeals for the 11th Circuit to ensure that Fulton County citizens will be the jurors who decide justice in this case. Please accept my sincere gratitude on behalf of the citizens of Fulton County, Georgia, for your patriotism, courage, and dedication to justice. I wish you the best in your future endeavors. Yours in service. Ooh, yours in service. All right. All right. So that's her letter. So did you get a feel of her letter? Her letter, she's a very intentional woman. And of course she is. She's the district attorney. Her letter is twofold. One, this letter can be used as a form of, I recommend that you use this brother as your attorney. Sort of like a letter of reference. And then the other fold, because it's twofold, the other aspect of this letter is she's still showing and indicating and allowing leverage, showing that the defendant's team, they're gangsters. And they can't be trusted. I'm going to show the world, because this is private. I mean, it's not private, it's public. I got this letter off the internet. Jurors can, possibly see this, prior to them being selected, which can cause people to be very biased in their viewpoint and how they decide to say that those folks, they're gangsters. Those folks intimidated you and your family and everything else. Those folks, you can't trust them. Then at the same time, you did a marvelous job. You worked for me for 865 days. You worked for me. And while you worked for me, those 865 days, you completed this, you completed that, you completed this, you completed that, blah, 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 blah. So here's your letter of resignation. You presented me your letter of resignation, but here's your referral letter as well, showing how awesome you are, your impeccable credentials as an attorney. So,
well, you know what? Before we wrap up, I just have one other take up from that letter.
Which one? Fani?
The Fani. Well, first of all, you say she's presenting them as gangsters. Yeah, because she's a prosecutor. She thinks they're guilty. You know what I'm saying? That's why she indicted them.
Right.
Yeah. But so, you know, she's going to think that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Of course.
But the one other important number in there was 19.
Yes. 19.
Because there was 19 people, she said, that he helped get indicted, but now only 9 of them are on trial.
That is correct. So that's what I'm saying. Is
that the other 10 of them either pled guilty. Like 10 people must have already pled guilty. Because she thought that they was justly indicted.
Right.
But where's the other 10 people?
I have no idea. Look, I'm going to have to look
that up. It
must
be Sidney Powell and the rest of them. Other people that we don't remember their name.
I'm going to look them up and see.
Yeah, I thought it was like 4 people, but it might have been like 10.
Yep. So her letter is basically, you know, you did an excellent job. You have impeccable credentials. So anyone that, you know, selects you as their attorney, they're going to be in good hands. While on the same token, those people, they threaten your family, they did this. So now she's injecting, this letter.
She gave him credit for standing up where she said other people didn't take the job because they were scared. And she said that he took the job because he was brave and all that other stuff. She said.
Right.
Because the other people were scared because people were threatening their lives like that. And they didn't take the job, but you took it.
Right. And you took it not because you were my lover, but you took it based on that.
Yeah.
You didn't take it because, you know, we're sleep mates.
Maybe that's why they were messing around before that already, you're saying.
Well, that's what one of the witnesses said. Yes.
So they was already messing around.
Right. Allegedly.
She said she admitted whatever they admitted, right? What did they?
Well, they admitted that they were messing around, but not in 2019. They admitted that they initially met in 2019, but they did not admit that they had sexual relations in 2019 or that they were fooling around or, you know, there was something happening.
Maybe because he was so brave and strong, that's why she admired him. Like, you know what I mean? Like maybe that's what she made her, you know, that what you say?
Impeccable credentials. That's what she said.
He gave her tintinabulations or whatever.
Oh,
like when she see how strong he was. She got
a big black burly man, a big black smart burly man that could probably pick her up.
Right. Ooh, that's all. I'm not gonna say that. See, don't even.
Oh gosh.
But anyway.
Oh, Felicia says she remembers. Yeah,
Ahmaud Arbery. The Arbery case. Yeah.
Yeah, that was so sad. That was so sad in that DA's office, trying to cover everything up. And
look, my only question would be this: with that law that they just passed the 2 days before this decision, how come they didn't pass the law before?
Because it was stonewalled. It was the law was passed before, but it did not include the solicitors general. So I think the Republicans took advantage of this whole thing that was happening, this whole hearing and everything, because again, this hearing is about her not being ethical.
Yeah, but I think that that other prosecutor should be in front of the line, in front of her to get.
Absolutely.
You know, like that was a much more serious.
That was very serious. So as a result of this, we'll see what's going to happen with the DA, Jackie. What's her name? Jackie Johnson.
Yeah, she should be in line already.
She should definitely be in line.
Before they start looking at other people, they should be looking at her.
She should definitely be in line, and the father, his dad, definitely needs to, since this is law now, you know, needs to pursue this. But what they're saying is they've never prosecuted a prosecutor.
And let's be for real, like how many other times did people like that Jackie Johnson do what she did? She wasn't the first one that ever did that. I'm sure.
Not at all. She just got caught.
Right. I'm sure plenty of men judges did that hundreds, if not thousands of times over the course of the history of Georgia.
Oh,
how many times? How many times have they looked the other way, knowing something like they cousin or whoever that guy was to her, a former employee made? I think he was a former employee of one of those guys was, or something of the prosecutor's office.
Oh yeah, there was
Yeah.
some type of.
He used to work for somebody.
Connection or something. There was some type of tie.
Right. So like, how many other times has that happened in the history of Georgia?
Right.
And nobody ever got prosecuted for anything.
Right.
Nobody got kicked out of being a prosecutor. Nobody had to retire. And they stayed a judge or a prosecutor.
You have to remember, listen, you have to remember she's going up against the president of the United States. I don't think people understand. Think about this. I don't think people understand the depth of this.
The only problem, but see,
I think, hold on for a second. I think a lot of people don't understand the depth of this is because they don't see him as a president. They see him as 45. And when you are up against a former president of the United States, I don't care what political party it is, you're going to use all of your resources to make deals behind the closet, behind the coat room, behind the curtain, in the bathroom stall. You're going up against, this is a state.
Yeah. But see, the thing that makes this different, I think the only reason why this case is different at all is because he's not getting prosecuted in a whole bunch of other states like this at all. The only reason why he's getting prosecuted in this state is because there was a phone call and everybody heard it. Like he said, just find me 11,780 votes. Like there's a phone call, and then so when people heard that, that's as much evidence as anybody would need. You know what I mean? Like she has to get all this other stuff and all this other information and to prove this, that, and the third. But because of that, it was on a call. That's why people even key into this, because you could say that in any other state. You say, oh, he interfered here and he interfered there, but they're not trying to prosecute him in any of those other states, only in Georgia.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, like I said, all of this, I think this hearing, this evidentiary hearing, all of this could have been avoided if she would have just gone to the judge in his chamber and told the judge what's happening between her and Nathan Wade. And then finally, maybe Judge McAfee would have made a decision in chamber and no one would have known anything about it.
He still got to get elected, so he got to do what he got to do. He got to do what he got to do.
But even if he would have made the decision, say for instance, okay, he has, for him, 3 choices. One, he could say, to avoid any appearance, get rid of Nathan now. Get rid of him now. Or get rid of yourself now. Or, you know, what he said, whatever decision he came out with now is what he would have done, I believe, in chamber. And no one would have known anything because it just wouldn't have been exposed.
Well, we'll never know now because that's what
we'll never know now because that's what she did not do it. She didn't do it. So, okay. All right. So next week in the Urban Suite, we are having filmmaker and author Jasmine Andrews, and we're going to dissect Sully Bride. This book is phenomenal. It really is. I encourage you, men, women, read this book, the jewels of this book. We're going to really get into it. It's going to be, I'm telling you, it's going to be very interesting. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. Next week in the Urban Suite, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, next Tuesday. So my Urbanites, I hope you got something out of this tonight. This is very interesting. Wasn't this, Curtis, very interesting?
It's sort of.
What? It was very interesting.
It's very long, I tell you that. So
I know. As I said, it's going to be a long one because the whole thing. So I just don't want people to think, to take that victory lap. And then also what I think I'm going to try to pop in and do a live YouTube this week to dissect the mayor of Newark, New Jersey, Ross Baraka's State of the City speech that he gave. I think it was last week or a week and a half. It was very, like I said, a very compelling argument as to why he should be the first Black governor. And I just say that in tongue in cheek, in a sense.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
Right.
It ain't no tongue in cheek. That's the reality. Like, that's not a tongue in cheek. Like, that's what he's up against. So come on, let's be for real.
So yes, the first Black governor in the state of New Jersey. Virginia had a Black governor a long time ago.
Yeah,
Douglas Wilder, Governor Wilder.
But
and New Jersey hasn't had one now. So this is interesting. They want this woman to be on the Democrat ticket.
Yeah, well, we'll get into all of that.
We're gonna get into all that. We're gonna get into all that and who's gonna be running in the primary, and this is gonna cost a lot of money.
Wow, what's going on?
It's gonna cost a lot of money. So we're gonna get into that. I'm thinking maybe, I may have to do it I don't know. Definitely not tomorrow. Probably Thursday or Friday, or I may do a Saturday live on YouTube. But I'll let you all know what time and when and stuff like that. So my urbanites, hopefully you got to understand why I consider it to be an uphill battle. And I think it may be. I don't know. The only thing that I feel confident about is I don't think she's going to lose her seat. I think she's going to remain. I think people are going to rally against her. For her, rally for her. And I think she will remain. However, those other sources of authority, the ball already started rolling because they're appealing it. And in the judge's decision, he said, basically, I'm citing this for the appellate court. Have at it. And on Monday, they did an emergency appeal. So,
well, like you said, she's going to keep her seat because that's why she was politicking at the church.
Yeah, but I think they're going to put a gag order. I think
she already politicked, though. You know what I'm saying? She already politicked, though. So if they say they take her off of this case, they're not going to stop her from being a DA.
Right, exactly. But what the opponent is going to do is say, if they take her off this case, you can't trust her. Now, they're going to say that in, so many ways. They're going to say you won't be able to trust her. She's not ethical. Do you really want a DA that you can't trust? Let's look at Jackie Johnson. Let's look at her. What happened to her? Like, they're going to really, I'm telling you, they're already painting the picture.
Yeah, I know.
That she repeatedly makes bad decisions. She repeatedly has poor judgment. Because this is what the judge said. So they're going to use that. Will it be effective? As the judge said, maybe, but maybe not. All right. So anyway, we'll be back in the Urban Suite sometime this week to talk about the mayor, the gubernatorial run in New Jersey, and Mayor Ross Baraka, his city speech that he gave in the great city of Newark, New Jersey. But until then, hopefully you were able to laugh, learn, cry, and grow in the Urban Suite with me, Dr. Lisa Lacan. Stay blessed, be blessed. On that note, Molly, take us away.
you.